back here in western Pennsylvania, it's 51 degrees out, raining. The temperature went down. A lot of days were above 70, well up into the high 70s. The one night it was 71 degrees, and we went out riding. Man, it was beautiful. I mean, at night. Now it's back down. The next, I know, 5-6 days it's going to rain off and on. And I'm using my double microphone. I wanted to try it. Hello, Seattle. This is Dr. Fraser Crane. I'm listening. Who's that? So anyway, Saturday, yesterday, I went down to my nephew's. We worked on his bike, his Harley V-rod. His V-Star and V-rod both have problems, so he got two bikes, put all kind of accessories on them, got them the way he likes them. It won't run. So I went down, well, we worked Saturday, couldn't figure it out. It never did idle right since he got it. And when you would hear the idle, you could just hear the tone going up and down, up and down. It was just like you was hitting the throttle a little bit. And I said, something wrong. Timing, fuel, stuff like that, you don't know. So we put new plugs in it, cleaned the air filter, did a lot of different things, up the throttle a little bit. It wasn't right. It got worse. It seemed like it just wasn't. I kept telling him it's something in the way the carburetors are burning the fuel. It's in there in the fuel system someplace. He even put additive in the one day, and it seemed to help a little bit, but it wasn't it. So Saturday night I left there. He decided he's going to take it to the dealer. Let them go over it because they have the equipment. Just tell them it isn't running right, whatever it takes, and this and that. And I come home and I'm thinking, man, you know them. It's going to be a lot of money. So this morning I called him, Sunday morning. I said, you want to look at it? He said no, he'd wait a while. You know, he's going to take it to the dealers. We talked, and then later he called me back. He said, well, if you want to come down, we'll look at it. I said, okay, I'll be down. So I go down, and we're looking at it and trying to figure it out. That additive he put in was a place where you buy stuff cheap, and we thought, well, maybe it was old. He said it just smelled bad, you know what I mean? We're thinking, drain all the fuel out of it, emptied the tank, went and got fresh fuel put in, started it up, same thing. It's idling there, it's like that, up and down, up and down. I said, no, that ain't it. I said, gotta be in that fuel thing. So you take the air filter off of that, the box that holds the air filter, then you can get down in around the settings on the carbs and stuff. I call them carbs. They're fuel injected, I think, in there, but carbs. So anyway, I reset the balance of the two carbs. The flappers that come open, they're adjustable, but you really need a meter for it. At the dealers, I believe they use a meter with mercury in, so it has a suction, and they get them even. They're perfect. But what I did was I went to my old school training, and I thought there's two on there. If it's a bike with four, I don't like to fool with it because that's too many to try to adjust. Two, I can do it. So I went to my old school ways of years ago, and I adjusted that. We thought, well, we try it. We can always put it back. Started it up. That thing purred. It just a steady hum, nice. And I'm thinking, you know, just maybe. Revved it up, sounded good, idled perfect. Just what a difference. So I said, take it out, go around the block, see how it is. He went out, come back, perfect. Everything's great. So we adjusted the windshield a little bit. And that adjusting the carbs like I did, I would never show it on YouTube because it's my way of doing it. It's what works for me. I don't want to tell somebody that's the way to try it, you know, because you really have to have a fine touch. You have to really know what you're turning. And then if it isn't right, turn it back. You know, this is like a last chance deal before he takes it to the dealer. And you know the dealer's going to be at least a couple $100, maybe more, you know, because the way they are, they charge so much an hour, and then who knows. So got it perfect. Moved it out of the way, brought the V-Star over. Now on my other video, we had to put that screw in down in the cam for the gears. He couldn't, it got to where he couldn't get third, fourth, and fifth gear. He only had first and second and neutral. We did that. We got it to where he had all the gears, but down in low gear, he kept telling me that it was like jumping out of one into neutral or something like that. He was having trouble down in the first and neutral, maybe second, right in there. It just wasn't right. Well, we thought maybe we'll adjust that pedal a little bit. He had tried it. Nope, same thing. So we're thinking about it, and I said, you know, the easiest thing to do, you do first. So we took the side cover off down. He took the clutch cable going into the hand grip on the left side. He adjusted it clear in. We adjusted it down to bottom. Now, I think the Suzuki, well, I know the Suzuki and that Yamaha are the same, the Suzuki C50. You get all the slack you can so it's down at the bottom. There's no pull on that. And there you'll see a screw and a nut. You hold the screw, loosen the nut. Now you take that screw, turn it out, turn it back into it, just touches, back it off a corner of a turn and hold it, tighten the nut down. Now that's set. Go up to the top and have it so that when you pull your adjuster in and out, you know, your lever, you got a little bit of a gap. Some will say put a quarter in or 2 dimes or whatever, but you want a little wee bit of space. That's so that you know the clutch isn't holding on. But when you pull it in, the clutch is clear in. They did that. Well, I was on the bike. What we do is pull the back end of the bike over so it's shooting exhaust out the garage. And I started it up, put it in gear, eased the clutch, it worked great. I went down to neutral, went down to first, put it back up to neutral, worked perfect. And I said, I'll take it around the block, try it. So I backed it out and took it around the block. What I found out is now it works perfect. I mean, that thing is so smooth, but it's a light touch on that gear shifter. It's not like, say, my Harley. Even my Suzuki, you got to push a little bit more to know it's in. That V-rod, or V-Star, the Yamaha V-Star, is set so perfect, man, you just tap it. And it goes up through the gears and that. I went around the block and tried it. Oh, man. But he kind of got me. When we was fooling with it, I remember he shut the gas off, but I ain't thinking about it. I went around the block and almost got back. It started sputtering. I come up to a stop sign. I'm like, oh, man, it's going to quit. I'm like, you know, what's going on? Then it dawned on me. So I hurried and put it in neutral, turned the gas on, and then it was okay. So he got me there and didn't even know it. But I took it back up home and told him, or up to his place, and I said, take it out and see what you think. He come back, man, he said it's perfect now. But before he left, I told him, I said, I got to tell you, you're a little heavy on your feet. A light tap. And he admitted, yeah, he said, I hit it pretty good. I said, not on this. I said, now your Harley and the Yamaha's different. That Yamaha has a light touch. The Harley, you want to push it and get it in. You know, it's a little heavier. You get the feeling of it. But that might have been part of his problem there, but it did need adjusted. So I left there this evening, and both of them are working. They're both sitting side by side, and he's all happy now. So, and he had talked about selling the V-Star, and you know, it works so great now, and we have been through so much on that bike. He says he hates to get rid of it. So I don't know what he's going to do. But the other day we took a ride and we went up, that's another thing we did Saturday on his V-rod. We put the wider foot, instead of the little round pegs, we put the wider ones on, the real wide ones that Harley make. He said that's great. We put the original seat back on his Harley. That's, guy changed that seat, and what he had put on it was, I hate it. I mean, it just didn't feel right. And he said his butt was so sore and this and that. He said, I'm just going to buy one of them Mustangs or what. I said, try the original seat. You might like it. So we put it back on, and it has pins you drive out. And it's a job. I mean, it's, you really got to get in there, fool around, keep hitting it, you know, and get them out. I cleaned them up a little bit. I didn't want to clean them too much because they're just a pressed fit, so you don't want to be fouling them or nothing. So got them back in. We did everything, and he said it's 1,000% better. He feels better on it, and I think the front's a little narrower. He can get his legs in, and then with the bigger pads there for his feet. His legs aren't pulled in. He's holding his legs inward, so you know what that's going to do to the inside of your thighs. If, you know, in there, it's going to start, your muscles aren't used to that. And I think that was a lot of his problems. So I'll show the highlights of when we went up to the C&M Harley shop and got his mirrors. He got the mirrors. He bought 2 chrome ones, real nice, and they stick out further. He can see. The other ones were actually dangerous because you ain't seeing much. I was on it and you ain't seeing much. They're just aimed. You can't get them out any further. And it's like, you know, don't they think of that when they? I know they designed so much on that bike. Somebody didn't sit on it and say, well, man, these mirrors, you got to have them out a little further. You know, I mean, man, you got to be able to see something behind you. So I'll put this on next about the ride we took, and I pulled another little joke on him. You'll see it. but the one about the cell phone, we're still laughing about that. That was so good. I go down, I look at him, I start busting up.